Hello! How was that? Good take?
It was okay.
Story of my life.
Speak louder, though. You have the voice of a whispering whippoorwill.
Whippoorwill? Whippoorwill?
Whippoorwill.
Whippoorwill?
Whippoorwill. West Haven Brook update.
The Danger Report! I'm John Soares, director of The Danger Element, and that's Justin Spurlock, cinematographer, actor, and extremely eating human being. Quick update for episode 6 of The Danger Element. I sent the whole episode off to GLEN GABRIEL to be scored, and right now we're just finishing up like dialogue replacement, and it's pretty much done. It'll take a little bit of time for GLEN to do music, but that's it. And I'm also working on episode 7, which is all shot. I'm just editing it.
Do you have any projected dates for either episode?
I want to have episode 6 out this month. I don't know what the date will be yet. Probably the end of the month. 7 could come out at the end of February. Beyond that, I don't know about the rest of the episodes because there's some complicated things that go into the post-production for those. But 6 and 7, I think we could have this month and end of February, something like that. On today's Danger Report, we're going to talk about reshoots. Because sometimes we have to reshoot things for a number of different reasons. Some of them are good reasons. And then some of them are reasons that were decided before we were even born. I think that filmmakers should always be open to the idea of doing reshoots because sometimes you shoot something and it just doesn't turn out right, honestly. Other times, maybe it turns out good, but it doesn't match the flow of the rest of the film or any reason. Something just might not have worked as well as it could have. And a lot of people have the tendency to just be like, well, we shot it, it's done, let's just move on. And then you end up with this record of something that you could have fixed, but you didn't. And you'll think about it every time you watch it. So I always think if it's possible to reshoot it and you can do it better, reshoot it. There's nothing wrong with that. It happens in Hollywood all the time. And they have a lot more money than we do, but...
What's wrong, dude?
Are we watching My Soul to Take?
As a matter of fact, yes, we are. Yes, we are watching My Soul to Take today.
You know what's really disappointing about this movie is I thought that giant condor thing was going to be real. Just a stupid part of the movie where a kid's wearing a costume, he's dressed up as a condor. Biggest disappointment of all time, ever.
The vomit was alright, though. The vomit was pretty disgusting and sweet.
It was a funny scene. I mean, I guess it was funny. If I didn't see, they showed pictures of the condor in the press material for this movie, and I was like, whoa, that looks scary, a giant condor in the classroom. It's like false advertising. If they had advertised the movie as a comedy, now you got something.
My Soul to Take, coming to NBC this fall.
And he's about to discover
just what it takes to be a teenager
in a giant condor costume.
I think that's a really good idea. I think they should make that show.
It's a good idea. I like it. Don't love it. Good idea though. A good example of when we did this recently. Back in August we shot a car chase sequence here in the Modesto, Turlock, Houston area, and it turned out great. But the scene directly before it was shot in San Francisco, and it was kind of foggy and overcast. And when you see us run to the car, it cuts to like Turlock, and it's sunny, and we're in front of a cornfield. And I never really liked the cornfield was kind of a problem for me because I didn't think it was a good place for a cornfield in relation to what had happened earlier in the scene. And also, it goes from being foggy and cloudy to just straight up sunny, which just didn't work. Like, for a while we were talking about fixing it. I talked to Hal about doing some effects and changing the weather actually digitally. And then I was just thinking, I think we should just reshoot this. I thought it would look better if it really actually just did match naturally. So we came back and we did it again in December, and it was really foggy that day actually in Turlock, and so everything sort of matches better. And there's no cornfield in the background. I hate corn. Well, no, actually, I mean, I like corn, but it has no nutritional value. It's kind of like chocolate. It's not as good as chocolate. Healthier, doesn't have any nutritional value. I like it. I don't love it. No, I love it, but not for practical reasons. There was another earlier scene that we shot for episode 4 at the Plea for Peace Center in Stockton. We shot this fight scene in the Plea for Peace Center, and in my mind, I had this layout of the Plea for Peace Center, and it would be perfect. When we got there, there was this big black backdrop on the wall in the angle that I wanted to shoot in. There was it's like a stage there for like rock concerts and stuff, and there's just this big black fabric thing hanging on that wall. The lighting was fine, everything was good. Ben did the lighting that day. Everything was fine, there was just this one factor that it didn't really work, and what it did was this big black background, our clothing was all kind of dark, so all of our movement just kind of disappeared into that black background. So I was looking at it and I edited it together, and we were talking about it, me and Ben and Justin, and we're passing the scene back and forth and talking about, does it work, does it not work, does it need to be reshot, and the bottom line was that I just didn't like it. I didn't like it when I looked at it. So I said, we need to reshoot it. This was a little trickier because I had to get people to come back who came out, they had driven, for hours to get there the first time, and now I'm saying we need to reshoot 8 shots in the sequence and I need you all to come back. But they were all perfectly willing, nobody resisted, and we just came back and reshot those 8 shots. It was completely worth it because I would have never forgiven myself for putting that in my movie. But I think the biggest reason for doing reshoots for me is if I don't like something, I don't want to have to spend the rest of my life looking at it saying, I could have reshot that and it would have been fine. I would have been happy with it. But I couldn't live with myself. I'd have to be dead to live with myself. And that's something that no Jedi should ever have to go through. Never! Not on Earth or Coruscant, the capital of the Old Republic, and later, the Galactic Empire.
And the New Jedi Order, if you read the novels and believe in the canonicity of things that take place after the events of Return of the Jedi.
Shut up with your stupid Star Wars comic books. If it's not in those movies, I don't care about it. I don't want to hear about it.
Like all 6 movies, or just like because there was a Doug, a particularly nasty.
Nobody cares about Sebulba. We don't need to know his name, or that he's a Doug, or that he's particular. Midi-chlorians!
You doing all right now?
This is why Star Trek is so good. They don't have to deal with stuff like this.
Yeah. Hey, how's the planet Vulcan doing?
What?